I'm Mark Dresner, and this is MDRP TV, an executive interview series featuring specialists and experts in government pricing and reimbursement programs. Joining me today is Miree Lee. She is a pricing consultant and principal at Lee Consulting. Miree, welcome to MDRP TV.
Thank you. Thanks so much for having me.
We've got a lot going on in this industry, and what can and should manufacturers do in preparation for the coming year?
You know, when I look at this universe, I'm actually starting to think about what shouldn't we be doing, right? I mean, in essence, it's the whole bucket at this point. It's the landscape of healthcare is going to drastically change come 2014, but certainly it's going to change within the health insurance industry altogether. So I think one of the things that we've really been thinking about and talking about as an industry is that doing that rear view mirror check before 2014 actually comes and occurs. We're doing that rear view mirror check, and not just in terms of methodology, what we're currently doing, what we expect to be doing, et cetera, but really taking a look at not just the pricing part of it, but the overall collective strategy issues that really encompass a company and that drive the business. And doing that check and seeing how that really translates into operational challenges, financial assumptions, into our accruals, going into our relationships with PBMs and payers. I think everything is going to change. I mean, we had a landmark change, obviously, that in 1965, and this really is the next major change in healthcare. So I think as the industry, we really do need to do that rear view mirror check.
You mentioned manufacturers. How about the insurance industry? How will government program liabilities and their financial impact change?
Well, it's interesting because, as it relates to the insurance industry, I think as manufacturers, we're going to have direct relationships with them, right? I mean, we're estimating, another 20 million people in health exchanges. We have 17 states that have actually already declared their exchanges and also released public data as it relates to the various programs, or, the different types of plans that they'll be offering. And they've already costed those out. And that information is available through the Kaiser Family Foundation already. And when we look at that, and it changes every day, Mark. I mean, it's fascinating to see how it does change and what states are opting to do. But when we start thinking about this, and this really kind of took me back to the point of the Medicare Modernization Act and the emergence of Medicare Part D, and we had that 1 year in 2005 where we had that the discount card program, and then 2006 we have Medicare Part D, and what the formularies looked like, right? It's the formularies were robust and they were great, and it was very, very competitive as it related to Part D plan sponsor. Well, we now sit in 2013, and as we prepare for 2014 bids, we see the formularies much more narrow, very, very generic focused. So I think it's going to be an interesting thing in doing the whole rear view mirror check. These are the same health plans in general that also, many of them participate in Part D and whatever lessons they learn from Part D if they're carrying forward in this health exchange business. And then also making sure you have a backup plan, because what we assume today certainly may not be the same thing tomorrow.
Yeah, excellent advice, Miree. Thank you very much for sharing that with us today and for joining us.
Thank you, appreciate it.
That concludes this episode of MDRP TV. I'm Mark Dresner. Until next time, thanks for tuning in.